Dear students, myself Miss Vaishali Dekate. Welcome to my channel. I am teaching you subject Maths 2 in Standard 9th. In this video, we are going to start our chapter number 2, Parallel Lines. We will see few basic concepts of parallel lines. We will solve questions from practice set 2.1. But before that, subscribe my channel by pressing subscribe at right side. Press the bell icon also to get my recent videos. Chapter number 2, Parallel Lines. In this chapter we are going to study properties of angles formed by parallel lines and its transversal, test of parallelness of two lines, and use of properties of parallel lines. So this first concept, properties of angles formed by parallel lines and its transversal, we already have studied in our previous standard, in 8th standard. I suggest you all to watch my videos of standard 8 of chapter number 2, parallel lines and transversal, so you will get better understanding for this particular concepts. But in this video also I will be going to explain in brief about all these concepts. So let us see. First we will see the meaning of parallel lines. Parallel lines are the lines which are coplanar, that means they should be in the same plane and do not intersect each other. They are called parallel lines. So this is the same plane. If you all can see, this is the same plane. This page can be considered as a plane, and here I have drawn the lines. Here line L is parallel to line M. Why this line L is parallel to line M? Because they do not intersect each other, and we all know line doesn't have any measurement. Line means what? It is having arrow on both the sides. We never say the line of length 5 centimeter, line of length 10 centimeter, line of length 7.5 centimeter. That means what? Line doesn't have any measurement, because line can be extended on both the sides. Arrow is there and it can be extended on both the sides. As you all can observe, this line L and M, the distance between these two lines is constant. From first point till last point, we can see that the distance between them is same. It is not changing anywhere. So if you extend the line on both the side, if I am extending this line L on left side, right side, line M also on the left side, right side, the distance between them remains same. So such lines which do not intersect at any point are known as parallel lines, and they can be written by using the symbol of parallel. How to write? Line L parallel to line M. Similarly, here also you can see that line P and line Q are parallel to each other. So these two lines, if I extend on both the sides, see, if I extend line Q on downward direction, in upward direction also, P also in upward direction, in downward direction, they will never intersect each other, and that's why these two lines, line P and line Q, are parallel to each other. Similarly, line X and line Y are also parallel. If I extend them on both the direction, they will not intersect each other, and that's why they are known as parallel lines. Instead of this, if I draw such type of lines, for example, I am drawing this line M, and then this line N, you can see that the distance between them is not same. Here we can see distance between these two lines is bigger, and when we go in the upward direction, the distance becoming smaller. So that means what? If I extend these two lines in upward direction, they will intersect each other at some point. Here they are intersecting each other. So that's why these two lines are not called parallel lines. They are intersecting lines because they intersect each other. The definition is the lines which are coplanar and do not intersect each other. They should not intersect each other. That's why they are known as parallel lines. But here we can see that line M and line N are not parallel lines. That means two intersecting lines. They can intersect each other in one point. These types of lines are known as intersecting lines, and non-intersecting lines are known as parallel lines. Now children, let us recall the pairs of angles formed by two lines and their transversal. Here we can see there are two lines, line L and line M. They are not parallel to each other, as we all can see that distance between them is not constant. It is bigger here, and then as we go on right hand side, the distance going on smaller. So they are not parallel, but they are intersected by one line. This line is line N. So the line which intersect these two lines into two different points is known as transversal. Such type of line is known as transversal. So line N is transversal of line L and M. So due to this transversal, we can see that 8 angles are formed. First angle is this angle A. Angle A, we can see that. Then second angle is angle B. Angle B, we all know angles are having two arms, and they are having one vertex. Okay, they intersect each other at one point. That point is known as vertex. So two arms and one vertex are known as angles. So angle A we can see here, angle B we can see here, then angle E is there. If I draw like this, this will be angle E. Then angle F is like this. Similarly, on the left hand side of this transversal also same angles are there. This is angle D, then angle C, then angle H, and then angle G. In this way, 4 angles on the right hand side and 4 angles on the left hand side. 8 angles are formed due to this transversal and two lines. We will see the properties of two parallel lines and transversal. That means angles formed by two parallel lines and its transversal. So here you all can see I have drawn two parallel lines. Line L is parallel to line M, and their transversal line is line N. So we will see the properties of angles formed by parallel lines and transversal. First we will see the pairs of corresponding angles. We all have seen all these concepts. We have learnt all these concepts in our 8th standard. So here again I am going to explain in brief. So first see pairs of corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, we all know, if you observe angle A and angle E, these are two corresponding angles. Why they are corresponding? Because angle A, its one arm is in the upward direction, other arm is in the right hand side of the transversal, but it is on line L. Similarly, line E is having one arm in the upward direction, other arm is on the right hand side, but it is on line M. So two angles which are on line L and line M, one arm in upward direction, other arm is on the right hand side, are known as corresponding angles. And property of corresponding angles is they are congruent with each other. That means what we can write, angle A is congruent with angle E. This will be the first pair of corresponding angles. Now if you watch in the downward direction, these are two angles, angle B and angle F. So angle B is on line L and angle F is on line M. B is having one arm in the downward direction, other arm is on the right hand side. F is having one arm in the downward direction, other arm is on the right hand side of the transversal. They are having same directions. That's why they are corresponding to each other, and corresponding angles are congruent to each other, and that's why angle B is congruent with angle F. These are the angles on the right hand side of the transversal. Now let us see the angles on the left hand side of the transversal. If you watch this angle C and angle H, they are having same directions. Their arms are in the same direction. So angle C is one arm is on the upward direction and the other arm is on the left hand side, but it is on line L. And then H is having one arm in upward direction, other arm in the left hand side. Both angles are having one arm in the upward direction, other arm in the left hand side of the transversal, but angle C is on line L and angle H is on line M. That's why they are congruent with each other. They are corresponding angles, and that's why they are congruent with each other. And so I can write the fourth pair of corresponding angle. Angle C is congruent with angle H. They are corresponding also and they are congruent also. Now let us see the fourth pair, angle D and angle G. So D is having one arm in the downward direction, other arm is on the left hand side, and G is also having one arm in the downward direction, other arm on the left hand side, and that's why these two angles are corresponding angles, and that's why they are congruent with each other. So angle D is congruent with angle G. So they are congruent means what? Their measures will be equal. So if angle A is having measure 75 degree, angle E will also be having measure of 75 degree. If B is having 105 degree, F will be also having 105 degree. So in this way we will have to recognize the corresponding angles. Now let us see the pairs of interior alternate angles and pairs of alternate exterior angles. There are two types of alternate angles, interior and exterior. Let me rub this out. So the interior angles are the angles which are inside these two lines. We can see four angles which are inside these two lines: angle D, angle B, angle H and angle E. But they are alternate. Alternate means they should be in the opposite direction. So we can see that D and E are in the opposite direction, and B and H, these two angles, are in the opposite direction. Correct? This D and E, they are inside these two lines also, and they are in the opposite direction, and that's why they are congruent. They will become interior angles. Angle D will be congruent with angle E. This is the one pair, and in second pair we can write angle B is congruent with angle H. So these are the two pairs of alternate interior angles. We get only two pairs of alternate interior angles. Corresponding angles will have four pairs of corresponding angles we will have, but for alternate interior angles we will have two pairs only. And then we will have to see the pairs of alternate exterior angle. Exterior means what? They should be on the outer side of the lines. That means angle E and A, we can see they are in the outer side of line L. Similarly, angle G and angle F are on the outer side, that means in the exterior of the line M. So which are the alternate exterior angle? Again, alternate means what? They should have the opposite direction. So we can see angle A and angle G, they are in the opposite direction to each other. So angle A is congruent with angle G. This will be first pair of alternate exterior angles, and second pair is angle E is congruent with angle F. Angle E is congruent with angle F. So in this way two pairs of alternate exterior angles also we get. Now let us see the pairs of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. We have seen there are four interior angles, but we have to see which the angles which are on the same side of transversal. So we can see that angle B and angle E are on the same side, that means they are on the right hand side. So angle B and angle E. But the property of interior angles which are on the same side is they are not congruent with each other. They are supplementary. What do we mean by supplementary? Supplementary means their addition is 180 degree. So interior angles on the same side of transversal are supplementary. Always keep this in mind. So this is one pair of interior angles, another pair is angle D and angle H. So angle D plus angle H is equal to 180 degree. So in this way we have to remember all these properties of angles formed by parallel lines and transversal. We will see some more important properties. Now see the first property is when two lines intersect, the pairs of opposite angles formed are congruent. So if I draw any two lines here, this is one line and this is other line. Okay, these two lines are intersecting each other. We can see the shape of X is formed. So these lines, these angles, if I write any name, angle AOB and angle DOC, these are the opposite angles. They are vertically opposite angles. So angle AOB and angle DOC are vertically opposite angles and they are congruent with each other. Similarly, we will see these two angles, angle AOD on the left hand side and angle BOC on the right hand side. Though they look horizontal, but they are also known as vertically opposite angles. Okay, they are opposite to each other. Though they look horizontal, but they are vertically opposite angles. Always keep this in mind. So angle AOD is congruent with angle BOC. In this way, when two lines intersect each other, we get two pairs of vertically opposite angles which are congruent with each other. Now let us see the second property. the angles in a linear pair are supplementary. What do we mean by angles in a linear pair? When two angles are in the same line. If I draw one line and if I separate the angles by one ray, so angle ABC will be one angle and angle ABD will be the second angle. So these two angles are known as linear pair angles. Okay, so angle ABC and angle ABD, they are linear pair angle. They are also known as adjacent angles. What do we mean by adjacent angle? Adjacent angles are having one arm common. So we can see AB is the one arm which is common. So these two angles are known as adjacent angles also and linear pair angles also. Property is linear pair angles are supplementary. What do we mean by supplementary? Supplementary means their total is 180 degree. So this is the most important property which we all have to remember. The angles in a linear pair are supplementary. So if this angle ABC measures is 65 degree, angle ABD will be 105 degree, because it will be 115 degree, because 115 plus 65 is 180 degree. We all know that, and that's why whenever there are angles in a linear pair, they will be supplementary. So this is also important property which we all have to remember. Now let us see the third property. Third property is when one pair of corresponding angles is congruent, and all the remaining pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. We have seen the corresponding angles pair just now. Here I have explained you all corresponding angles. So if any one pair from these four pairs is congruent, then remaining three pairs will also be congruent with each other. Now next one is when one pair of alternate angles is congruent, then all the remaining pairs of alternate angles are congruent. So here if from these four pairs there are two types of alternate angles. One is interior and another one is exterior. So from these four pairs, if any one pair is congruent, remaining pairs will be congruent. Next one is when one pair of interior angle on one side of transversal is supplementary, then the other pair of interior angles is also supplementary. So from these two pairs of interior angles, any one is supplementary. If first pair is supplementary, second one will also be supplementary, or second is supplementary, then first pair will also be supplementary. So all this property we will have to remember, and we will be applying the property to solve the sums from practice sets. So let us solve the sums.
Now let's start practice set 2.1.
Now practice set 2.1. Question number 1 is, in the figure, line RP is parallel to line MS. We can see this is line RP and this is line MS. These two lines are parallel to each other, and line DK is their transversal. We can see that DK is intersecting these two lines in point H and point G. This is point H, point G. And we have given the measure of one of the angles, angle DHP. Here angle DHP, this angle is given 85 degree. We have to find the measures of these following angles. First we will have to find out measure of angle RHD. If you observe angle DHP and RHD, these two angles are in the same line and they are separated by one ray. I will be showing you on this page. We can see here these two angles, angle DHP and RHD, they are in the same line RP. If I draw in a rough in this way, this is line RP, and they are separated by one ray. Here we can see this DH is there, D and H. So they are adjacent angle, they are in the same line. Such type of angles are known as angles in a linear pair. So they are angles in a linear pair, and we have seen the property of angles in a linear pair. We all know angles in a linear pair are supplementary. That means what? Their total is 180 degree. So we will be applying the property of angles in a linear pair to find the measure of angle RHD. So let us solve the sum. In solution, we will first write whatever is given to us. Line RP is parallel to line MS and line DK is there transversal. Okay, here DK should be there. Line DK is there transversal. So this is given to us, and now we will be writing the proof or the solution for this sum. So for writing the solution, always make two parts. Okay, two parts, so that on the left hand side of that those two parts we can write the statements, and on the right hand side of those two parts we can write the reasons. So let me make these two parts here. So this part we will be writing statements, and this part is for the reasons. Now, as I have told you, I have shown here also these two angles, angle DHP and angle RHD. RHD and DHP are angles in a linear pair, and that's why their addition or their total is 180 degree. They are supplementary angles. So I will be writing here for first one, angle DHP plus angle RHD is equal to 180 degree. And for this particular step here we are going to write the reason, angles in linear pair. Okay, in this way we will have to make two columns, and we can write statement and reason in these two columns. Now DHP is given 85, it is shown here. Measure of angle DHP is 85. So in place of DHP we will be writing 85 degree plus angle RHD, it is RHD, we can write as it is equal to 180 degree. Okay, the reason is why we have written DHP 180 degree, because it is given to us. Measure angle DHP is equal to 85 degree given to us. Okay, now after this we can solve the sum. Angle RHD as it is, I am writing on left hand side 180 degree as it is on right hand side. Only this 85 we are going to transfer from left hand side to right hand side. So plus 85 will become minus 85, and therefore RHD should be there. Why I am writing RHS? It should be RHD is equal to 180 degree minus 85 is 95 degree. So in this way we have got the answer of first one, RHD is equal to 95 degree. Now we will have to find out PHG. I will make a box over here. Now see children, if you observe this angle PHG and RHD are opposite angles, vertically opposite angles. See, I am drawing the diagram again. I am drawing the diagrams to show you properly. So this is DH, and when we draw this line RP, okay, this is line DK, and here DH, and here point G is there. So this is angle PHG, this angle, and we will have to find out this measure of this angle PHG, and RHD just now we have got. Measure of angle RHD we have got just now. This RHD we have got just now. It is 95 degree, and we will have to find out measure of angle PHG. We can see that RH D and PHG are vertically opposite angles. I told you when there is shape of X, alphabet X, then vertically opposite angles are formed, and vertically opposite angles are congruent with each other. So here we can write second one, angle PHG is equal to angle RHD. The reason for this statement is vertically opposite angles. Okay, these are the vertically opposite angles. Here we can write, this is number 1, statement number 1. Okay, now as these are the vertically opposite angles, they are congruent with each other. Therefore, angle PHG is also equal to 95 degree. Why it is 95 degree? Because RHD is also 95 degree, which we have proved in statement in this one. So because the reason is RHD is equal to 95 degree from this one, equation number 1. So second one also we have got PHG is equal to 95 degree. Now third measure of angle, we will have to find out HGS. So let us find out HGS. Where is HGS? Here we can see this angle HGS. So from this diagram, what you can say about HGS? Let me rub these two rough diagrams first. Okay, now I am going to show you again by drawing the rough diagram. Here this is RP line, this is line MS, and then DK is intersecting. So we can see that this angle PHG and angle HGS, angle PHG, this angle, okay, PHG means this angle, angle HGS means this angle. These two angles are interior angles. They are inside two lines and they are on the same side of the transversal. Inside two lines and same side of the transversal means they are interior angles. And what is the property of interior angles? Property of interior angles are they are supplementary. So these two angles, angle PHG and HGS, are supplementary, and that's why their total is 180 degree. So I will be writing angle PHG plus angle HGS is equal to 180 degree. The reason we should write property of interior angles of parallel lines, or interior angles of parallel lines we can write only, or you can only write interior angles also. Interior angles. Now as they are interior angles, their total is 180 degree. PHG we have got 95 and HGS we will have to find out is equal to 180 degree, and therefore HGS is equal to 180 degree minus 95 degree. Now here PHG is 95, we have just here got in second one. Angle PHG is equal to 95 degree. Okay, so therefore angle HGS is equal to 85 degree. So in this way we have got HGS is equal to 85 degree. You can use the property of interior angles also to find out HGS, or you can use the property of corresponding angle also to find out HGS, because DHP is given 85 degree and HGS is its corresponding angle. DHP, the one arm is in the upward direction, other arm is on the right hand side. Similarly, HGS is also having one arm in the upward direction, other arm is on the right hand side. So these two angles are corresponding angle, and that's why they are congruent with each other, and therefore DHP is congruent with HGS. DHP is 85, so HGS is also 85. So we can apply the property of corresponding angles also, or we can apply the property of interior angles also. Now let us see fourth one, what we will have to find out. Fourth angle is angle MGK. We can see that this angle MGK is exterior angle and angle DHP is also exterior angle. But angle DHP, the direction is, one arm is in the upward direction, other arm is on the right hand side. Angle MGK, one arm is in the downward direction, other arm is on the left hand side. So here upward right hand side, downward left hand side, these two are exterior angle, that's why they are exterior alternate angles. And we all know exterior alternate angles are also congruent with each other. So we will be writing DHP and MGK are alternate in exterior angles, and that's why they are congruent with each other. Fourth one, angle DHP is equal to angle MGK. The reason we write for congruent of these two angle, property of, or we can write exterior alternate angles, and they are alternate exterior angles, and that's why they are congruent. And DHP is 85 degree, and that's why angle MGK is also 85 degree. Reason we write angle DHP is equal to 85 degree. This is given to us, and that's why MGK is also 85 degree, and in this way we can write the answer. So in this way you have to write statement and reason properly so that it should be seen clearly. Now let us see this question number 2. Line P is parallel to line Q, PQ. These two parallel lines are given. Line L and line M are transversals. Measures of sum of angles are shown. We have to find out the measures of angle A, angle B, angle C and angle D. So let us see. These two lines are parallel. Okay. P and Q are parallel and these are their transversals. So we will have to observe the figure like this, and according to that we will write the answers. Now first we can find out the measure of angle A or value of A. We will have to find out these values A, B, C and D. So if you observe this angle A and this 110 degree angle, these two angles are in the same line. We can see that they are in the same line, line L, and they are separated by one ray. That means they are adjacent angles in a same line. So that means they are angles in a linear pair. A and 110 are angles in a linear pair. If I draw in rough, if I draw this line L like this is line L, and this one ray, okay, this is one ray. So here we can see this is angle 110 degree, and here we can see angle A is there. So these are in the same line separated by one ray. Such type of angles are known as adjacent angles, we all know. And property of adjacent angles which are in the linear pair, they are supplementary. So we will be using the property of angles in a linear pair. Angle A plus 110 degree angle, angle A plus 110 degree angle is equal to 180 because they are angles in a linear pair. Okay, now 110 we can bring on the right hand side, from left to right we can bring it. So angle A is equal to 180 as it is, plus 110, from left to right it becomes minus 110 degree, and therefore angle A is equal to 70 degree. So in this way, measure of angle A we have got, this is 70 degree. Okay, I will put a box. Now let us find the value of this B. I will be showing you from this textbook. I am holding my book in such a way that we can see that this line P is parallel to line Q, and this line L is the transversal. Don't look at this line M now. P is parallel to Q and line L is the transversal, and just observe this A and B. When we observe this A and B, what we can see, they are exterior alternate angles. They are on the opposite side of each other, and they are on the exterior side of the transversal and exterior side of the line, and that's why they are exterior opposite angles. I will be showing you for drawing by drawing these two lines and their transversal L separately. Let me draw here. So if we hold our textbook like this, and if you draw these two lines like this is line P and this is line Q, and this will be line L. So in this way I have drawn this line, and here there is A and here there is B. So we can see that A is having one arm in the upward direction, other arm is on the left hand side. B is having one arm in the right hand side, another arm in the downward direction. So they are opposite to each other, and they are exterior, in the exterior side of the line. So they are exterior alternate angles, and we all know exterior alternate angles are congruent with each other. So I will be writing here, this is first one, here second one, angle A is congruent with angle B, or A is equal to B, because they are exterior alternate angles. Here we have proved that angle A is equal to 70 degree. This I can write as equation number 1. So A is 70 degree, and that's why B is also equal to 70 degree, because reason is A is equal to 70 degree. We have proved from 1. We have written it from 1. So in this way we have got the value of B also, which is 70 degree. Okay. So we have got A and B. Now we have to get C and D. Now if you observe this angle 115 degree and D angle, we can see that they are in the same line M, and they are separated by one transversal. So they are adjacent angles which are in the same line. That means they are angles in the linear pair. So we will be using the property of angles in a linear pair for 115 degree and D. So let us apply. Third one is 115 degree plus angle D, or only D we can write also, plus angle D is equal to 180 degree, because they are in the same line, they are separated by one ray. So this is, reason is angles in a linear pair. So here D as it is we write, 180 degree as it is we write, and 115 we can transfer, it becomes minus 115. So angle D is equal to 65 degree. So D value we have got 65 degree. Now when you observe these two lines, line P and line Q again, okay, I will be drawing this line P here, line Q here, and its transversal line, line M. Line M is the transversal line. And when we observe this angle C, 115 degree, and angle D, here it is angle D. So angle C and 115 degree are corresponding angles, because angle C is having one arm in the upward direction, other arm is on the right hand side. Similarly 115 degree is also having one arm in the upward direction, other arm in the right hand side. So C and 115 are corresponding angles, and that's why they are congruent with each other. So we will be writing fourth one, angle C is equal to 115 degree. Directly we have got the answer, C is equal to 115 degree, because they are corresponding angles. Or if you want, you can write property of corresponding angles like this, but only if you write corresponding angles it also can be done. So it is C is equal to 115 degree because they are corresponding angles. In this way we have got all these four values A, B, C, D. A is equal to 70. Now we are writing value only, so we don't put the degree sign. A is equal to 70, B is equal to 70, C is equal to 115 and D is equal to 65. Or we can write the symbol of angles also, because in question angles are written, so we will be writing symbol of angle. Angle A is equal to 70 degree, angle B is equal to 70, angle C is 115 degree and angle D is 65 degree. So this is the answer. Now question number 3, we have given line L parallel line M. L and M are parallel. N and P are also parallel. These two lines N and P are also parallel. We will have to find out measure of angle A, B and C from the given measure. This one angle is given 45 degrees. So let us see. I have drawn the diagram, I have written the question, and in solution I have made the two parts, statement and reason. So let us see. First we will take these two lines, line L and line M, and only one transversal line, line P. We are not going to see at line N now. We will be observing this line P. Line L and line M are parallel, so that's why I am writing here in the statement. Line L parallel line M and line P is the transversal. This is given to us. Reason is given in the question. Now let us observe this. Don't look at this line. We will be observing only line L, line M and this line, transversal line, line P. P we have taken as transversal. Okay. So when two lines are parallel given to us and third line is intersecting these two lines in two different points, we can take that line as transversal to solve our sum. So here this 45 degree angle is given, and from this 45 we will have to find out A and B. So when you observe 45 and A, there is no connection. They are not corresponding angles. They are not alternate angles. They are not interior angles. They are not any type of angles. They are not angles forming linear pair. They are not adjacent angles. So we cannot use any property for finding A from 45. Similarly, when you watch or observe this 45 and B, so 45 and B also are not the types of angles which we have learned. They are not corresponding angles. They are not exterior alternate angles or interior alternate angles or only interior angles or adjacent angles. They are not any type of angles. So we cannot use any property to find the value of A and B. So instead of that, if you write X here, X, this X and 45 will be vertically opposite angles, because we can see that they are in the figure of X. And in the figure of X we can see that the angles formed are vertically opposite angles. So 45 degree and X angle will be vertically opposite. And from this X we can find out A, because X and A are interior angles, and from A we can find out B, because A and B will be vertically opposite angles. So in this way we have to imagine any one angle, and we have to take its value as X. So I will be taking X angle here, and then I write angle X is equal to 45 degree. Why angle X is equal to 45 degree? Because they are vertically opposite angles. Okay, so X we have got 45 degree. Now X and A, they are in the same line, inside the same line, inside two lines on the same side of the transversal. They are in the inside the line L and M and same side of the transversal. That's why X and A are interior angles. So I will be writing angle X plus angle A is equal to 180 degree. Interior angles are supplementary. We all know this is the property of interior angles, or only interior angles also you can write property of interior angles. So x is 45 degree. Just now we have got 45 degree plus a as it is, I am going to write, is equal to 180 degree as it is. This 45 we can transfer from left hand side to right hand side. A as it is we write on the left hand side, equal to sign below, equal to sign 180 degree below 180 degree. Only 45 we are going to transfer, it becomes minus 45. So therefore a is equal to, we will be getting 135 degree. 180 minus 45 will be 135. So in this way we have got measure of angle A. Now if you observe this A and B, they are again in the shape of X. They are vertically opposite angles. We can observe that this is angle A and this is angle B. They are in the shape of X, and in the shape of X they are always a vertically opposite angles, and therefore angle A plus, not plus, angle A is equal to angle B, because they are vertically opposite angles. Okay, here this one, for this particular equation we can write 1. Here x is equal to 45, we have written from 1. In reason we can write 1. A is equal to 135, we can give equation number 2. Now A is equal to 135 and therefore B is also equal to 135, because A and B are equal. So this is third one, and this we have got from 2. A is equal to 135 from 2. So in this way we have got the value of A and B. Now we have to get the value of C. Now observe these two lines. I will be rubbing this out. These two lines, line N and line P. And now take this transversal line M. This is transversal line M. So you can see that this angle C and angle B are corresponding angles, because angle C is having one arm on the left hand side, other arm is in the downward direction. B is also having one arm in the downward direction, other arm in the left hand side. So they are having both one arm in downward direction, one arm in the left hand side, and that's why they are corresponding angles of each other. Angle C and angle B are corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are congruent with each other. So here we will be taking line N parallel to line M, line N parallel to line P, and now we have taken line M as the transversal, and line M is transversal. So we can see that C and B are corresponding angles. Angle C is equal to angle B, corresponding angles. Always write the reason. If you don't want to make two parts, you can write the reason in the bracket also. So C we have to write, B is 135 we have got. As B is 135, C will also be equal to 135. C is equal to 135. Why C is 135? Because B is equal to 135. Reason is B is 135 from equation number 3. C is equal to 135. Reason is B is also 135 from equation number 3. In this way, all these three answers we have got. A is 135, B is also 135, and C is also 135. Now let us go on this question number 4. We have given these two angles, angle PQR and angle XYZ, and their sides are parallel to each other. That means PQ is parallel to XY. This side PQ is parallel to side XY, and side QR is parallel to side YZ. These two sides are parallel to each other. What we have to prove? We have to prove that this angle PQR is congruent with angle XYZ. So when proof that is there, we will always have to write given what is to prove. These two things we will have to write always. So here you all can see I have written given sides of angle PQR and angle XYZ are parallel to each other. This is given to us. We have to prove angle PQR is congruent with angle XYZ. Now see children, for this proof we will have to do this construction. We have to draw line PQ. Here the ray PQ is given. We will have to draw the line. That means we will have to make the line. We will have to extend this in the downward direction. So PQ also we have to extend in downward direction. XY also we have to extend in downward direction. So we have to draw line PQ, line XY. Similarly, we will have to draw line YZ. On the right hand side there is a arrow. So we will have to draw the line on the left hand side. So we have to extend the line YZ on left hand side. Similarly, QR also we will be extending on the left hand side, and we will be drawing all these 4 lines. And let the line YZ intersect line PQ in point A. YZ will intersect PQ in A, and XY will intersect line QR in point B. So let us do this construction first, and then we can solve this sum. So I will be drawing this PQ like this. Okay. Then I will be drawing this XY also. These are the parallel lines, so you should always check that the distance between these 2 lines should be same. And then this line YZ I will be drawing little up so it will be visible properly. YZ and then QR. So in this way these parallel lines I have drawn. This is line P and Q. Okay, I will write Q here. This is PQ. This is point Q here. And then this is X and this is Y. XY. And then this is Z and this is R. What we have written? YZ intersect line PQ in point A. YZ intersect line PQ in point A, and XY intersect line QR in point B. XY intersect line QR in point B. So in this way we have got these parallel lines and they are intersecting each other in this way. So let us write the solution, and we will have to write in 2 parts, statement and reason. So I will be making 2 parts here. Statement, and this part will be for the reason. Now take these 2 lines PQ and XY are parallel to each other. This is given to us. Line PQ is parallel to line XY. Okay, PQ and XY are parallel. This is given to us because they are 2 sides of given angles. And we will take this YZ as the transversal. This line YZ as the transversal. And line YZ is transversal. Okay. I will have to make the column for reason. I am having very small space, so I will be making the small space over here. Now, as line PQ is parallel to line XY and YZ we have taken as a transversal, so when you watch these 2 angles, angle PAY, can you see this angle PAY? PAY. One side, one arm is on the right hand side, other arm is in the downward direction. Same way we can observe this angle XYZ, one arm in the right hand side, another arm in the downward direction. So that's why they are corresponding angles. So therefore they are congruent with each other. Angle PAY is equal to angle XYZ. This will be my equation number 1. The reason I will be writing corresponding angles. Okay. Now we will take these two parallel side YZ and QR. Side YZ is parallel to side QR. Side YZ parallel line QR. Line YZ is parallel to line QR. And now which line we have to take as transversal? We will be taking this line PQ as transversal. Line PQ is a transversal. So now observe these two angles. Angle PAY, okay, angle PAY, this angle, and angle AQB. One arm in the upward direction, other arm is in the right hand side. One arm in the upward direction, other arm in the right hand side. So these two angles are corresponding angles again. I am showing by using my red pen, so it will be understood by you all. So angle PAY is equal to angle AQB. This will be my second statement, second equation. Again, they are corresponding angles. Now see children, this angle AQB can be written as angle PQR also. Either you write AQB. See, I am drawing this full angle. Here it is point P. Here it is angle point A, P, A. Then here it is point Q. Then in between point B is there. And then point R is there. So either you write angle AQB or angle PQR. This is one and the same angle. Same angle by different name. Okay. Similar angles by different name. So instead of writing angle AQB, I can write angle PQR. PAY as it is I am writing angle PAY is equal to angle PQR. Same angle with different name. Okay, reason we can write like this, same angle with different name. This can be given equation number 3. Now observe equation number 1. In equation 1 we have written that we have got angle PAY is equal to XYZ. And in equation number 3 we have got angle PAY is equal to PQR. So in both these equation 1 and 2, this left hand side is having PAY. That means left hand side is congruent, left hand side is equal, left hand side is same or common. So as left hand side is same, automatically right hand side will become same. Okay, automatically right hand side will become equal. And that's why from 1 and 3 what we can write, therefore angle XYZ is equal to angle PQR from 1 and 3, from equation 1 and 3. And this is what we have to prove, XYZ is equal to PQR. Okay, that means that is angle PQR is congruent with angle XYZ. XYZ is equal to PQR means what? PQR is congruent with XYZ or XYZ is congruent with PQR. Hence proved. Here we should write hence proved. In this way we will have to write the proof always. Now last question. In figure, line AB is parallel to line CD, PQ is transversal. Measure of one angle. This angle BRT is given 105 degree. We have to find the measures of following angles. So let us see. Very easy this one. As usual, we have written this solution where what is given first, we have to write line AB parallel to line CD here, and line PQ is its transversal. Now we will have to find out measure of angle ART. If you observe this figure carefully, angle ART is this angle. Okay, this angle is angle ART, this one. So if you watch this angle ART and angle BRT, which is 105, they are in the same line. A, B, and here we can see R and T. So ART and BRT in the same line. they are separated by one ray. So such type of angles we all know they are angles in the linear pair. So angle in a linear pair are supplementary. That's why angle ART plus BRT will be equal to 180 degree. So here we will be writing angle ART plus angle BRT will be equal to 180 degree. We write the reason angles in a linear pair. Okay, now BRT is given 105 degree. Measure of angle BRT is given 105 degree. So in place of BRT we will be writing 105 degree. ART we write as it is plus 105 degree is equal to 180 degree. The reason is angle BRT is equal to 105 degree. This is given to us. Now ART as it is I am going to write is equal to 180 degree as it is I am going to write 105. We will transfer from left hand side of equal to sign to the right hand side of the equal to sign. So it will become minus 105 degree. And therefore angle ART will be equal to 75 degree. This will be our equation number 1. I will put a box over here. So because first answer we have got, ART we have got. Now let us observe this CTQ. If you draw these two lines and draw its transversal here, this is angle ART and this is angle CTQ. ART this angle and CTQ this angle. Both angles having one arm in the downward direction, other arm is on the left hand side of the transversal. That means these two angles are corresponding angles and corresponding angles are congruent. Therefore angle ART is equal to angle CRT because they are corresponding angles. So angle ART is 75 degree. Therefore angle CRT is also equal to 75 degree. How we have written it is from equation number 1. So we can write from 1 also directly. From 1 we have written angle CRT is equal to 75 degree. So here we will put a box. Second answer also we have got. This is second equation. Now let us see, we will have to find out DTQ. See this DTQ. I will be rubbing this out. Now see children, this line I am going to draw CD, line CD, and one ray below TQ. TQ is the ray. So CTQ and DTQ, these two angles are in the same line. They are separated by one ray. That means they are angles in a linear pair, and angles in a linear pair are always supplementary, and that's why angle C, what I have written CRT. How I have written CRT? It should be CTQ. Correct? CTQ. It is not CRT, it is CTQ. See children, angle ART and angle CTQ are corresponding angles. Correct? ART and CTQ. While writing the name, I have made mistake over here. So I should write CTQ. So now CTQ and DTQ are angles in a linear pair. Angle CTQ plus angle DTQ, they are equal to 180 degree. Their addition is 180 degree because they are angles in a linear pair. Now CTQ we have got 75 degree plus DTQ we have to find out is equal to 180 degree as it is. Now angle DTQ is equal to 180 degree as it is. Only plus 75 we transfer here, it becomes minus 75 degree. So angle DTQ will be equal to 180 minus 75 degree is again 75 degree. 180 minus 75, sorry, it is 105. So it is 105. We are getting DTQ is 105. So this DTQ 105. From BRT also you can write BRT is 105, and that's why DTQ will also be 105, because BRT and DTQ are corresponding angles, and that's why they are congruent. Now last angle we will have to find out PRB. Now see this PRB here, PRB. So ART and PRB, if you observe this line AB, okay, line AB I am drawing here, and then this line PRT. So PRB and ART, these two angles are vertically opposite angles, and that's why they are congruent with each other. So I can write here angle PRB is equal to angle ART, and ART we have got 75 degree, therefore angle PRB is also equal to 75 degree from 1. So here we can put a box. So in this way all these 4 angles we have got.
Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.